Hello, friends. I welcome you to another episode of this podcast series. This is part 2 in the Mental Health Matter series. In today's episode, I would like to address a very simple question but often neglected. This is about what do we do if one has been diagnosed with any kind of mental health ailment, or somebody very close to you or a key significant person in your life has been diagnosed with one. Since mental health has always been part of stigma, there's very little awareness around it. And because of that, very little is also known, not just about the ailments, but also about the support that we should provide. Either it is to do with our own self or even with others. So let me first divide this into two categories. So let's say someone has been diagnosed with a mental health ailment. So a person has been undergoing some sort of symptoms of either anxiety, depression, or something is just not right. And they end up going to a psychiatrist who, after a very detailed examination or maybe listening to the person, understand what exactly the issue is. And it can be anything. Now, with the newfound ailment, typically what we do is when we visit a doctor, he would prescribe some medications and would suggest us some kind of food that we should avoid, or the kind of food that we should eat, and at the same time the duration and timings of the medications. But friends, there's a difference between mental health and physical health. In my previous episode, I spoke about how various imbalances in the brain might cause different medical ailments related to our mental health. And these are purely treated by medications prescribed by psychiatrists, because they are the one who are authorized to prescribe medicine. But at the same time, it is not necessary that medicine or medications for mental health should be taken in the first instance. So what I suggest here to you is, if in case you found yourself suffering from any of the mental health ailment, try therapy before you even go and grab that medication. Because mostly the mental health ailments are a combination of our thoughts, actions, behaviors, including the balance or the imbalance in our neurocircuitry of our brain, specifically of our limbic system. Now, to address this, there are multiple alternative ways through which we can combat it. Unless and until required, medications should be avoided. So, if somebody has been diagnosed with any one specific disease, the first step is connect with the doctor itself and try and ask the doctor before medications, is there something else that you could try out? Some alternatives, like for example, if someone has been suffering from panic attacks or a generalized anxiety disorder, which is also called GAD, it's not recommended that you just go grab a medication to make your nervous system soothe and calm. There are natural ways of also doing it, which can be achieved through a better yoga technique or meditation. So this was just one example. The best way to combat this is that you first speak with the doctor itself. And you may not suggest something there, rather ask that you may want medications to be a last resort, and that what else can be tried, some other alternative that can really help you overcome it, or at least bring it to a very reduced point. And that can include a healthy diet. That's one. Second important point is that please avoid self-diagnosis. At the same time, do not take your medications go into Google and start searching about the medicine, the side effects, the effects, because what a doctor has spent years and years in the studies, along with the study of the chemical and its effect on the brain for a particular disease, is a combination of knowledge, skill, and experience. We have none of it. So, a mere Google search can just give you a very basic and above the surface information, but may not really absolutely give you the kind of information you're looking for, which a doctor holds. So, avoid medication, but if required, please do take it. At the same time, seek alternative. If you're not able to find an alternative, ask the doctor themselves what could be the best alternative. And most importantly, look for a dietitian who could help you with anti-inflammatory foods or maybe even intermittent fasting. These two methods and intake of anti-inflammatory foods are found to be very, very beneficial for especially people suffering from mental health ailments. But a good dietitian can actually recommend you this specific to the season, and where else can you find the required amount of serotonin, dopamine, or any other chemical that you can take through food instead of medicine. Now, the same principle applies if, along with, let's say, if not you or someone else or somebody very significant in your life has been diagnosed with a mental health ailment. The first thing is, if you want to provide support, understand what the person is going through. You can be part of their visit to the doctor and maybe even have a conversation with the doctor about the best way to support your loved one who has been suffering from it. Because more than the person himself or herself, it is a support system that they get around which can make the healing more faster and effective. And if in case somebody is equally suffering from a mental health disease, it is all the more important to let your close or loved one knows what exactly are you going through. Be more transparent and create awareness so that people around you also understand that there could be days where you may find it difficult, and then there could be areas in your life where you may be struggling. So even if none of your support family or close ones can completely empathize with you or could get what you're going through, a bit of an awareness can really help them support you in the needed way. So this is one of the things that I would wanted to address in this podcast. I hope you found this very useful. If there's anything else that you may want to talk about or you want to hear more, please feel free to leave your comments in the comments box. Thank you so much. Thank you for being my audience, and I'll talk to you soon.